There's no one in the live yet, but I gotta say straight away, I haven't been excited for a fight in a while. And despite considering that I'm from Georgia and there have been exciting fights to me when Merab was getting his title shot against Sean O'Malley, and when there was Elias fights, obviously, but somehow, just stylistically, style-wise, just like two complete opposites, and I'm very, very much excited for this fight. Khamzat round now, knockout. Okay, I'm gonna set the poll, guys, so you're gonna have a chance to vote, okay? Who's gonna win? Who's going to win? DDP Khamzat Chimaev. Starting a poll. Guys, we're also gonna talk. Let's not just be a fanboys and fangirls, and let's actually try to talk about what scenarios you see potentially, what could happen, like different scenarios in which DDP would win, in which Khamzat would win. That fight is not the level of it's not the level when, oh, that person's gonna win like easy. I was rewatching some latest fights, so I rewatched DDP's versus Whittaker and DDP's versus Adesanya, and I rewatched Khamzat versus Usman. I recently was rewatching Khamzat versus Gilbert Burns, and well, I noticed certain things, you know, like if we talk about analyzing it, I have certain opinions that I'm willing to share, and I'm open for discussion, and I'm encouraging you guys to engage as well. Okay, let's go through the comments. Also, let me know if my sound is good. I have a microphone, but there is street right out there, and it can be a little bit loud. Okay, a lot of people say Khamzat submits DDP in round number 1. Khamzat takes takedowns and lands a knockout punch. Interesting. Well, Khamzat's striking might not be the most prominent as they say, but he has well, his uppercut and overheads are quite dangerous. So yeah, you can't take away that from him, obviously. So how it's gonna be? Do you think that Khamzat, as usually, gonna start it in his manner, which is like just go aggressive? Because all of his fights, pretty much, he starts aggressive, goes for a takedown, goes for the ground control. In the fight with the Usman, which was 3 rounds, and a lot of people speculate that, oh, if there was 5 rounds, like Usman managed to survive this, like obviously this round was clearly to Khamzat because he had entire time the full control on the ground. But then, if you notice, in the second round, if you rewatch that fight, he didn't go for a takedown, and like the second round was quite hesitant. Why? Because Khamzat was tired after first round, and it is normal because first round was very, very intensive attempts to, you know, control the Usman on the ground, you know, there were a couple attempts tried to submit him. It didn't work, so he was facing out. Then like around last 4 seconds there was another a successful takedown from Khamzat, and the third round it was like Usman started kind of getting more into, like, he was striking, he was throwing those punches, they were landing, kicks, everything, and then it was another takedown. Essentially, obviously Khamzat won, but from that fight specifically, I noticed that his endurance is a little bit questionable. and who am I to talk about it? Obviously, comparing to me, he's a beast. Comparing to all of us, he's a beast. But I'm just talking about purely if we are comparing like those elites, what could be a disadvantage. And then with Whittaker, so Whittaker fight was after, if I'm not mistaken. That's how I remember it. And he basically did it, was the first round, the second round, he rear naked choked Whittaker. And yeah, commentators also were talking that he's gonna have to try to do it like finish straight away, because like first 2 rounds Khamzat is the most efficient, most dangerous, most aggressive, and that's how a lot of people think. But that's a question. Is it going to work with DDP, who is known to be able to pull around the fights that he is technically losing? So what happens, DDP starts with that drunken farmer style, but he has some interesting nuances. As much as it's chaotic and unpredictable, and sometimes, like for some people, that might look awkward and how that guy is even a champion. But there are like few aspects to it. Like he really gets better, and even when he's tired, he's still dangerous. He's still like he might do like the swinging stuff, you know, like he never drops his arms down. Like always tries to slip the punch up. So. Try to switch the stances, and then sometimes goes to explosive low kick, and then this octopus style takedown and the ground control. You don't know what to anticipate from DDP, especially on the later rounds. So guys, do you agree that first couple, maybe 3 rounds, gonna be the ones that are gonna actually determine the course of the fight? Let me know here in the comments. My favorite UFC fighter, there are quite many, but I mean, obviously I like Merab, Georgian fights Ilya, Topuria. I like DDP, I like Khamzat. One of the favorites of all time, I love Mighty Mouse, Alexander Volkanovski, GSP, and there are many, so on, there are many. But let's stick to a little bit more about with that topic. DDP versus Khamzat. Khamzat is my hero. Good. I think they're like at the end of the day, respect to both of them. They came from like somewhere, and they came up to the top, and they're doing it there for their family. So you gotta give a credit and respect to both of them. DDP has never faced a high-level wrestler and got to down by Whittaker. That's a good point, and that is one of the could be a determining factors with when it comes to as I say, like to me, first 2 rounds, if DDP goes through that, if Khamzat gets tired, basically a little bit like with Usman, then I think DDP is gonna pull it off, rather by decision or maybe some random, I don't know, piano throw or a banana peel throw closer to the end of the fight. If Khamzat's plan, most likely, I don't see Khamzat just pacing and changing his like game plan completely and trying to match DDP with pace. I think he's gonna try to go explosive, try to catch him, try to get him there. But here it is, like DDP's wrestling is not like, you can call it high level BJJ. He's not. I'm not even sure if he's like a black belt like or anything. But like his style, the takedowns I've seen him doing was very, very odd. And you're right, it was against the non high level wrestlers specifically. They were more like mixed fighters or strikers. But we'll see how that factor plays in the favor of Khamzat. That's actually a good point to mention. Gilbert Burns is better than DDP. Gilbert Burns versus Khamzat was the good fight also show, but Gilbert Burns is black belt in BJJ. I think DDP's biggest advantage that people underestimate, and it's good that they underestimate, and it's good their opponents underestimate that, and everyone probably UFC in mixed martial art world, in mixed martial art world, underestimate is his ability to, I don't know, still do it. Like he legit, let's be honest, he moves like a farmer, like a drunk farmer. Like he really does. But somehow he has the timing. He has interesting timing, and he's physically very strong. He's stronger than you imagine. They can go both. Khamzat is also is proven to be a very strong fighter. So on that side, they're both strong. But DDP is adaptable even when he's tired. Even if he's worn out, he's adaptable. He still does. You don't know what to expect from him. Like sometimes, not sometimes, most of the times when you have a fighter, you know, okay, their base is grappling, wrestling, BJJ, or their base is striking. You know what to anticipate from them. You know that that person not gonna, when they're tired especially, they're not gonna go on the takedown, or the opposite. If they're tired, they're not gonna go, they're gonna try to control your shot. They're not gonna go for striking. With DDP, you never know. You really don't. What is DDP? It's Dricus du Plessis. Usman is tougher and more experienced and faced great wrestlers, unlike DDP. That's a good point. Usman and Boris are more skilled than DDP. I think there are many fighters who are actually more skilled than DDP, but I already mentioned that guy is unorthodox. That's all I'm gonna say. And his physicality, he's very strong physically. He's very endurant, and I don't know, he's resilient. I don't think he knows how to stop. Sometimes those, not sometimes, very often, these traits are basically determining the course of the fight. That's why how I see it, most likely, if Khamzat does not manage to apply a significant damage to DDP in the first 2 rounds, causing him, just physically slow down and being more vulnerable, I can tell you that there is high likelihood that DDP pulls off that fight and he successfully defends his belt. But we'll see. That is, I think that is the biggest question there. Fight already started in the comment section. That's true. Khamzat will maul DDP so bad. DDP has never faced a high-level wrestler like him. I agree. Khamzat is the highest wrestling level that he is facing, so that is like a new scale of challenge, and I think both of them understand that. And this can be something that goes in the favor of Khamzat. Dricus du Plessis represent the world, unlike the other guy. I mean, both of them represent something. I cannot tell much about that. I think I have respect to both of them. By the way, I have I'm in one of those healthier cafes, and it's like a protein shake with spinach, banana, vanilla protein, some other fruits, and it's good. I like DDP personality. I actually do like it. I think he can go sometimes go too far, like what he told to Strickland. I think it was a little bit way too much. But then after fights, he seems to be always respectful and classy. So I think he's all right. DDP by immune system. I love those DDP memes. DDP by neck kisses. Listen, neck kisses, that's a Merab thing, okay? I love Merab. Me and Merab are from the same country, by the way. I'm from Georgia as well. Finally, a normal girl, a girl talking about something interesting. Most girls on live show their body for views. Yeah, that's sad. Yes, I know, but I believe there are women who watch sports. They're nerds like me and do some stuff with their lives. I guess. I mean, I'm still live streaming, but at least we can have a conversation about it, right? What's your name? My name is Diana. Yeah, keep scrolling up, guys. It's quite a lot of engagement. I'm in Canada. What time does the fight start? I'm in Vietnam, so the fight starts around 9 a.m. tomorrow. So I'm from the future, guys, because I'm in the Southeast Asia. I'm comparing to most of you all. I'm in the future. Why is Scarlett Johansson doing MMA streams? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm betting my life savings on the Khamzat. Well, that's the thing. I think that it's the reason why this fight is very anticipated. It is the trickiest one. Weirdly enough, even if it might not seem that way, but it's actually almost close to 50-50, and there are many factors. Khamzat is stronger on wrestling. He starts more explosive, like his pace in the first round is very high. And DDP, I don't know what he's gonna do. One thing I know about this guy, he's adaptable, he's endurant, he's persistent, and he never backs off. And yeah, we'll see. Okay, keep scrolling up. Yeah, I can see. Let's see. 54% think that it's Khamzat, 76% think it's DDP. Yeah, I'm not here to argue, guys. As I said, that is elite level fight. I'm here more about to just talk a little bit more. How do you see rather DDP or Khamzat winning? I think that is more interesting. Are you a fighter? I'm a boxer. Ironically, I'm doing boxing myself, but I love watching mixed martial arts as well. Okay, keep scrolling. How can people watch my fight? Well, whenever I'm gonna have boxing matches, I'm gonna definitely share it, rather live stream or share the footage on my YouTube. And for whoever doesn't know and they see me first time, I'm doing boxing. I've been doing boxing for many years. 2 years amateur competitive level. I'm a national champion in Georgia, but it was like 2018, I think. And since then, I just kept training, focusing on technique. You know, not giving up on it. Last 2 months, I've been training to get back to the competitive level, including technique, stamina, footwork, all of those important aspects. In those years, I also became a personal trainer and learned a lot about nutrition, recovery, strength development, all that kind of stuff. So since now I'm having YouTube, I'm kind of looking forward to get back to the competitive boxing fight. They love honking here. They do. They really do. That's Vietnam, by the way, not China. But anyways, so yeah, I'll share my fights, whatever I can, whenever it's gonna happen. But it is a matter of the next few months. Like, I'm still in the preparation of things. I didn't even get back to the technical sparrings yet. Okay. Khamzat is dominant, but cannot underestimate DDP. Like, I can agree with that. DDP always finds a way to, no matter how awkward he fights, he has always gotten the job done. Just a reminder, has not lost in years. That's a good reminder. A lot of, like, DDP is an underdog here, and that's one thing that annoys me a little bit. No disrespect to Khamzat. I think Khamzat is hyped as much as he deserves to be, according to his record and his wrestling and his personality and fighting style, all of that kind of stuff. But at the same time, his fans and a lot of other fans like to diminish. Like DDP became like a constant underdog, and the guy is like, he's undefeated. He never had a loss in UFC. He's undefeated for years. Whatever that is the most funny, but also cool thing, that his style, I don't like his style. If we talk about, like, I'm a boxer, right? So, for example, when I watch mixed martial arts, I like Ilia Topuria's boxing. I like prime Conor McGregor's boxing. I like Bigfoot Silva's boxing. I like the Adesanya's boxing, Pereira's, I watch upper striking a lot, and I try to see how good they are. Like, if we put DDP on that level, he just kind of goes, but there is interesting details how he does it. For example, it's not just he just goes and he doesn't know how to fight. He just does whatever works for him, and the way he does it looks awkward, unorthodox. But for example, very often, he already has a long reach. He actually has a longer reach than Khamzat. And what he does, he comes with broken footwork, with literally broken footwork. He comes in, he digs his head often like this and comes like this. So actually, he slips everything through like that, and he goes like 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2 like that. And those punches land, and those punches are heavy. And if you see, that's what he did to Whittaker. That's what he did to Adesanya. Strikers. Yes, he maybe have not faced Khamzat level wrestlers that much, but he faced elite strikers, and he somehow did the job. Okay, so let's not underestimate the current champion. That's one thing that annoys me a little bit. Well, guys, just for the record, I'm married, by the way, and yeah, that's why I'm not responding to any suspicious offers here. Okay, Khamzat. DDP is not a small guy, he's juggernaut. Yeah, I mean, that's true. Khamzat Chimaev, mash your boy, mash your boy. He's not my boy. All I'm asking is, those two respect each other. They actually said, both of them said that there is no hate, only respect. Chimaev himself said that whoever steps in the octagon dares to step to fight him deserves the respect. But a fanboys cannot understand that. But that's okay. This is how the sport sells. It's just, people just want their boy or their girl to win. That's how it works. Okay, and keeps going up, guys. Okay, someone says, when everybody thought Merab Umar will beat Merab. Maybe not exactly same example, but it was endurance and experience and a better pressure, and also be better ability to take a pressure. Won. If we put Umar against Merab and just purely estimate their technique, Umar has a better technique. It's more watchable, it's more beautiful, it's more elegant, delicate, whatever, take it however you want to take. But essentially, who won? Merab, who was more experienced, who had a better stamina. Endurance is sometimes, not sometimes, very often a key factor. It really is. And then on the top of it, if someone who has a good endurance starts getting tired and they still know how to apply the damage, they still don't back off, that's very commonly that changes the course of the fight. And whoever didn't fight or sparred or wrestled in their life ever, never gonna understand it, because they watch the fight, they think that someone who has a beautiful technique always wins. Obviously, a lot of people with beautiful technique, but also with all the other factors combined, win. Great technique enhances the performance. But if you just have a beautiful technique and you don't have stamina, endurance, physicality, pressure resistance, and pressure and appliance, you know where to go. Do you think that DDP will able to defend Khamzat's takedown attempt? No, I think Khamzat's going to be able to drop him, and I think DDP knows that too. Whatever he said, I think he said in the press conference that I'll give you money for each takedown or something. But it doesn't matter because I think he understands that's inevitable. What he could use against Khamzat is to let him get tired. Sometimes you might give up the entire round, and that's a tricky, but let's say you have 5 rounds and you just like, okay, you let them do whatever they do. And in DDP's case, that's very often, that's what he does. He just paces and then he actually increases the pace, increases the pressure, and by the time his opponent already did their best to take him out, but it didn't work. And then that's why this guy is still a champion, like no jokes. So we'll see, like if, as I said, if Khamzat manages to apply a significant damage, not just a bruised nose, not like Whittaker was winning, okay? Adesanya was winning. They were, a lot of clean strikes were landing on DDP, didn't work. I'm talking about real damage, like significant damage. Maybe some, I don't know, like a leg damage, for example, on low kicks, like when he actually cannot even walk anymore and he's just slowing his movement, like that kind of significant damage. Or, yeah, some heavier punches in the body and the head. So he just basically slows down. If Khamzat manages to do that, I really can see him winning that fight. But it's also not that easy. DDP is a tough cookie. You look like an actress. Thank you, I guess. Any new thoughts on this new Paramount deal the UFC has done? Well, I think it's going to be good for growing the sport. Good for us. Because technically we're supposed to pay less now to watch the fights live streaming, and everyone's supposed the average honorars are supposed to increase for the fighters, which is good for them. So I think that's great. Okay, keep scrolling up. You look like an actress. Yes, I hear, guys, and please don't stun. We don't need your advice, woman. Well, then go and ask advice to someone else. Emma Watson. That's an interesting one. Go to Dagestan for get to 3 years. I've been in Dagestan actually on the boxing competition, but they didn't approve me because I was too young, 17 years old, so I did some sparrings and boxing sparring. But I'm from Georgia originally. I've been strictly in Georgia, never went outside for long periods until I went 22 years. So it's not 2-3 years, it's 22 years in the Georgia, and I've been in Dagestan. So I'm cooler than you. No, just regular boxer. Classic gentleman sport. I did amateur, but I'm thinking between coming back to amateur first, trying myself there, getting adapted, then professional, or straight away professional. It really depends on our schedule. Me and my husband travel a lot, and maybe it's just going to be more comfortable to do it with professional record, because you can train whenever, you just have your fight scheduled, and we have promoter friends who could help us with organizing the fights, and you can just take your pace there, you know. Yeah, I don't bet. I never bet money on the fights. I'm not a gambler. My husband says he only gambles with his life. He used to be a proximity weeks flight, aka base jumper. So, yeah, don't gamble with your money, gamble with your life. I told you Elias Luz opened by Islam Makhachev soon. Again, another fanboy comment. Islam Makhachev, Ilia Topuria to me is 50-50, even though obviously as a Georgian I root for Ilia, but I have massive respect to Islam Makhachev, his record, his legacy. I think he's one of the best, not only currently but possibly all time, at least lightweights. That could be a 50-50 fight, depending. They would have a different game plans. Ilia would try, like everything that he does, all wrestling, all grappling, all low kicks, all jabs, everything he does is to get to that middle distance and kind of get there. So if Ilia does that, he wins. Islam is gonna share the same fate as everyone else, but Islam is a very technical fighter, very good wrestler. So if he manages just push him away at all times, get the points in, put him on the ground, have the ground control points and all of that stuff. Like I see him rather maybe even submitting him or winning by decision. This is how I see it, but that fight is not happening yet. So let's just not go off the topic. You're ignoring my comments. I'm ignoring my comments because I have a husband and I'm not doing ground and pound with anyone else. But I'm also a boxer, and I haven't done BJJ for, I'll tell you, 4 years. I did BJJ for a little bit, for a few months, and it was fun. Then I got my pinky toe injured, and like it sounds like a funny injury, but I couldn't walk without the injecting painkillers for 3-4 months, and then 2 months I was still limping. By the time I already moved on with my life, so I never did consistent BJJ training after that. If you're talking about Putin is not my president, Georgia is not part of Russia or Soviet Union. Some people still think that Soviet Union is the thing. And yeah, that's a little bit of information from that part of the world to you. Okay, DDP is overrated champion like Bully. I think DDP is actually underrated. I almost haven't seen a positive talks about DDP. Like everyone's being like, oh, DDP sucks. DDP just became a champion by accident. So I don't know. I mean, I have a different experience regarding that. Okay, that is a good one. Obi says, nobody is scared to anybody in a pro fighting competition. You're just a little bit overthinking and nervous and anxious, and adrenaline is coming in, and they're worrying about their legacy. Obviously, KHAMZAT doesn't want to get his first defeat. DDP doesn't want to lose his title and get his first defeat in UFC. That's logic, okay? And thank you, Obi, for pointing it out. That's important. Okay, keep scrolling up. That's it. Strickland said his opinion by fighting both. If KHAMZAT goes up in the rounds, he will gas out. And Whittaker said the same thing. Considering that Whittaker fought both, he lost both to KHAMZAT and DDP, and he has the first-hand experience of both fighters. And I think he said a very correct thing. He said KHAMZAT's style is very explosive, very aggressive in the beginning. If he doesn't manage to get you like he did to Whittaker, he did it very successful with the two Whittaker. If he doesn't manage to do it with DDP most likely gonna win. He most likely gonna pull off something. It's easy fight for KHAMZAT. And MD Abu Talha Anik, of course. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be, but all the like Arab, Persian, Pakistani, Dagestan, like Muslim fans are saying that those kind of things. Oh, it's going to be easy. No, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be fast if Khamzat manages to do that in the first two rounds. If he does that, actually, he wins that way. Of course, we'll say, okay, he got DDP. He's really a beast. But it doesn't change the fact that Khamzat, and I see that fight going longer than 2 rounds. I really do. And if it goes for longer, we know that Khamzat has a little bit of issues on the later rounds with his stamina. And that's a very important part. That's a very important aspect, guys. You gotta consider that. Nobody will gas out in UFC except for McGregor. Yeah, that was, I mean, I'm not gonna say anything. Okay, and keep scrolling up, guys. Who is she taking in the fight? As I said, probably, I really hope, and it's probably going to be a close fight. I don't see it finishing in first 2 rounds, and that's why I think that if it doesn't finish in the first 2 rounds in the Khamzat's favor, I think DDP is going to do whatever he always does. But it can be unexpected. Like, you know, things like Masvidal, Ben Askren, like when the Masvidal just jumped in with the high knee and just knocked him out. It's fastest knockout in UFC history. Like those things also happen. So you never know. You never know what was the plan. What's the what comes to the fighters' minds. How the improvisation goes. Everything goes according to plan or not. There are certain things we cannot predict in any shape or form. But logically speaking, that's what a lot of people say. A lot of fighters I heard saying that. As I said, both Strickland and Robert Whittaker said the same thing as I'm saying. And I agree with them. Okay, someone says, thanks Rochester. Then I suspect he might give at least 4 rounds, which no one expects. He seems to work out a lot on stamina. Again, I cannot say anything regarding that, because like the last training camp, like yes, they've been showing some footages and all that kind of stuff, but it's gonna be proven. We're gonna see that in the fight. If he does a better job against someone who is having such a pressure as DDP. DDP is one of the most consistently pressuring fighters out there, at least in a few divisions. He's like just goes in the same pace and just gradually increases that pace, and it's not easy to deal with. And it comes out actually successfully goes full fight. Well, we're gonna give him credit. We're gonna I'm gonna say, okay, that guy really they really focused on stamina training. And stamina is not something that is necessarily genetically. It takes a special type of training. It really takes it doesn't just take like training and wearing yourself out and gassing out every time you do something. You know, there's like the VO2 max training, there are specific endurance type of training for increasing the lung capacity to get your body used to the like explosive intervals, so like your burnouts. And there are certain ways how to do it, and obviously I'm sure his team knows how to do that. And I hope he's let's mention a couple things about training camps. Like that's the things that happen on the background, guys, okay? Like, I know Khamzat is friends with Darren Till, and Darren Till is a good example of the fighters who was supposed to be a star and went downhill very quickly because of, how to say that? I don't mean to disrespect anyone, but it's like an odd training camp, training style, very heavy. He was saying that it was like a torture at times. This is not how you train at elite level. It's like an old school approach that you gotta be crazy, you gotta do insane stuff. In reality, you wear yourself, wear your body out, and as much as you need impact trainings per week in your training program, I'm not saying you must have that, especially on elite level, but at the same time, the recovery ratio between impact and recovery ratio has to be very, very careful and more and more like training camps, and more teams are looking into science evidence of how they actually should do it. Because if you don't let your body and neural system recover, there is no point how much you train. You just wear yourself out before the fight. And Darren Till is a good example. And I know Khamzat also been training a lot, and he had some health issues, problems, because that type of training also decreased the immunity system. And then essentially, I think COVID got him, and he had some respiratory issues for quite some time, and he required some medical treatment. So it kind of is dependent on the training style as well. And essentially, I hope his training style changed, because both for his health but also for performance efficiency. Okay, look at the previous fights analysis difference between Khamzat and DDP, and you will see DDP has way more finishes than Khamzat. Khamzat tends to go to decision, and that won't work in the fight. That's a good point. I don't think there is very big difference. I was just looking at the stats recently. What was the numbers? Actually, DDP has more submissions, I think, than Khamzat, but also considering Khamzat has less fights by comparison. So you got to compare with the amount of fights as well. And I'm not very good at math, so I'll leave that up to you. But essentially, that was percentage of decisions. Yeah, decision percentage, the finishing fights with the decision, Khamzat has it's slightly higher. I respect Caucasian brother, but I don't root for anyone. In this case, I like both DDP and Khamzat, but I think DDP is gonna win. And I'll be honest here. If I'm wrong, you can tell me, and I'll admit it that I was wrong. But we're here to talk about what scenarios DDP wins and what scenarios Khamzat wins. Dagestani fighters capture his. Well, actually, he's from Chechnya, just for the record. It's like Chechnya, Georgia, and Dagestan is like very close in the map. They're basically bordering each other. I've been in Chechnya too, in Grozno once. Do you like Islam? Yeah, I said before that. Really respect him as a fighter, that's for sure. And he's funny. I think he was the one who said to the DC that sent to Dagestan 2-3 years to forget. It's like 2-3 years. Essentially, he sent his children for 1 month or something, but wasn't good enough. Do you like Nina drama? I think she's cute and goofy. I don't think she's a bad girl. I wish someone who, like a girl who covers like the UFC stuff. I actually wish someone would be there who actually knows a little bit, watch the sport, and kind of understands fighting, not just goofing around. But again, nothing against her. She seems nice. Okay, I'm keep scrolling up, guys. It's so much. Oh, that's so much. Okay, I'll continue from the middle. DDP's wins, someone says. Some many fanboys will be traumatized. Yeah, that's how come on confident. Who you support? As I said, I don't support neither, but I lean, just logically speaking, I like analyzing potentially who's gonna win and why. And as I already said, why Khamzat would win, but I think that has less chances because against DDP, he's like a tank. I don't think it's gonna work that in the first 2 rounds he would like apply a very significant damage, because I've seen DDP taking all those heavy punches from Easy, from Whittaker, from pretty much like in many of his fights, and he still finds a way how to like once they're wearing out, DDP doesn't stop. So I see that fight going longer, and I see DDP winning, rather by decision or he would, I don't know, he somehow, God knows how, he would finish the fight in the later rounds. Vlad and Marcel supporting DDP, but not confident to say how DDP will win. Well, I don't know how they think. As I said, I already said, and I'll repeat quite sometimes. That's not a problem. Why I think, and you're free to agree or disagree with me. DDP, after defending the belt, asked for this fight, and if he's asking for this fight as a champion, you kind of think that he does not feel he has this fight in the bag, especially the game plan. As I said, I think DDP is... that is another thing. As much as Khamzat, he's undefeated, he's doing great, he's like... But I notice him saying more and more often, oh, I'm just like happy to fight and get money. And DDP said, well, we both gonna be well. I'm gonna take my belt back, you're gonna get your money. That is a little bit not a good attitude, because we want, like everyone says, Khamzat is a boogeyman. And before Burns' fight at Usman, he was a boogeyman, okay? And then it's like, we need more attitude from him, like, I'm the champ. He says that every now and then, but lately I've been hearing him saying more like, oh, no, like it's like money and fight. And fair enough, like he has a family, he's been saying that a million times that he wants to support his family, and that's beautiful, and this is how it should be, and respect to that guy. But pre-fighting attitude, DDP's being completely calm. I watched the press conference. People been booing him, and I think it's like combined. The Australia, it's like a Whittaker, Adesanya, Strickland, and Khamzat fans all together just booing DDP. The way he dealt with it was like it didn't get to him. Actually, I think the hate actually excites that guy quite a lot. So I don't know, man. His attitude and the way how he's focused on it. I think he's ready for the fight. I think he's excited for the fight. Like, he's not trying to duck Khamzat or anything like that, you know? This is not wrestling, this is MMA. Good point, because you don't do pure wrestling, pure boxing, pure kickboxing, or pure anything in mixed martial arts. It's called mixed martial arts because it is in mixed martial arts. DDP chokes out Israel, who made a white belt mistake, and everyone thinks DDP is so great at grappling crazy. But that's the thing, it's not like he out-grappled him, okay? I was just rewatching it today, DDP versus Israel. Israel was winning by striking. His amounts landed and amount strong was higher, so he was winning in the stance. Then he had DDP also had the takedowns, but I think Easy also had takedowns in the beginning. Then he tried to keep it in the striking, and this is also at the point where Easy was also tired, and at some point DDP seems to be way more tired than Easy, and getting swallowing more punches, more damage. And still, somehow, like, that's the thing about this guy, guys. Even DDP himself never said that, like, he said himself, I might not be the best striker, I might not be the best wrestler, I might not be the best, like, something specific, but I am best at putting it all together and make something out of it. Like, this is something similar he said. And so far, like, you cannot take away from him. I'm a fan of the beautiful technique. I love pretty technique, okay? That's why one of my favorites so far is Islam and Ilya, and I like Volkanovski. I love well-rounded fighters who's very good, like Mighty Mouse from the older generation. GSP, like well-rounded, good stance, good look. Like, I like those kind of fighters, but sometimes we have sometimes we have people like DDP. Sometimes we have people like, who's another one that's very unorthodox, like Roy Nelson. If you remember, guys, that's the older generation. That's, to me, it's like a history of MMA, because I was I think I wasn't even born when he started the fight. But Roy Nelson, Big Country, if you remember that guy, fat, looked like your like your neighbor who is a plumber, was knocking out everyone. And I think UFC did him dirty, and they actually made sure that he would fall down because he was just not, you know, standing there. Like he put them in the stipe, he were putting him in the, like a very short notice against the elite fighters, and essentially he got some losing streak and he left UFC and stuff like that. But I'm just saying, you know, like sometimes we have champions, sometimes we have great fighters who are like on the race. They're unorthodox. It doesn't make them a bad fighter. It might not be as pretty technique, as skilled on the paper, but they're fighters. Yeah, keep scrolling up, guys. Do you need a video editor? Finance plan. Please, you can email me on my contact email. It is in my YouTube bio, so if you check my YouTube, you can find it. And whatever offers you have, guys, just email me and we can talk and see what we can do. Okay, keep scrolling up. Khamzat, do you like how he did with Robert? Whitaker and Sandy Strickland are not high-level wrestlers. Once Khamzat takes him down, DDP cannot do anything. Yeah, that's a good point. That's we already said that could be something that's going to be on the Khamzat's, like going to favor Khamzat a lot, especially in the first 2 rounds. But I'm telling you, if DDP survives first 2 rounds, and I can't tell you exactly how because that's DDP. If there was someone else, I could tell you, oh, okay, they should keep their fight in the stance, oh, they should just do takedown defenses, you know, that kind of stuff. With DDP, hell knows. Like, as long as he survives first 2 rounds, we'll see what happens. I think he wins. Someone says, DDP going to expose Khamzat's wrestling even more than Burns and Usman. But that's the thing, Khamzat has great wrestling. Let's not take that away from him. It's just DDP has, like, I think that's also what he said. He cannot know what to anticipate because I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, imagine a person say they don't know what they're gonna do and what they're gonna pull off. How do you anticipate that? Every martial art, like if you follow the blueprint, it has certain pathways. It has certain patterns, and you kind of, you know, think about it. Like, okay, this is how. Like, if it's a boxing, for example, you know, jab, one jab, jab. You know that cross is gonna come over, and you like anticipate the cross to kind of, you know, sleep it, you know, to step off it. Those are like the blueprints, okay? But with DDP, it just doesn't fall under anything. So that's why I'm not sure. If it's not like he's gonna expose Khamzat's wrestling. It just might not work on him the way it works on the other wrestlers or other non-wrestlers. You eat your ego. Let's go, team terrorist. Khamzat. Well, Khamzat is not terrorist. Let's not be disrespectful. Yes, he's a Muslim, but not all Muslims are terrorists. But anyways, I'm okay with my ego, and I'm ready to admit if I'm wrong, if I will be wrong. I'll do live stream after the fight, and I'll be not okay. If Khamzat wins, I'll be watching that fight too, right? So I'm gonna try to think, okay, how he won, give him credit, praise him for proving that he is the best. Like, there is no ego, guys. I'm not a fanboy. Make sure when you guys come and hit the like button. It's free. Andrew, thank you very much, and I appreciate it. I remember you last time you shared the live stream in the community chat. Okay, keep scrolling up. Couldn't agree with you more. I heard the mindset change in Khamzat in the press conference in just wanting the money and not looking for the belt. DDP is here for the legacy. Yeah, that is important detail. That might be a small one, but it is really important, okay? DDP got emotional, almost cried. I haven't seen that. Like, a lot of people said that, but I didn't really see that. DDP's confidence is unshakable. Also, I wouldn't say that Khamzat is like shaking or something. Khamzat is like smirking and like a little heavy. Khamzat looks very scary when he looks at you like this, you know? But Khamzat been more loud, he's been more pushy. DDP just chose to be like a stoic in the situation. And remember Alexander Yemelyanenko effect, when he would just come out with complete poker face, you know, no trash talk, nothing, and he would destroy everyone at his prime. So it always creates a more mystery. Do you agree with that? It creates more mystery to a persona when you are just Rose Namajunas that did that against Jaychuk, Joanna Jaychuk, when she was like completely in a stoic state. I prefer that. I would do that this way if I was a fighter. As I said, DDP looked nervous during the press conference, and then he booed another fight to be confident. And anyways, he dealt it. Yeah, he dealt well, but it's okay to be a little bit anxious. If you think that they're not anxious, if they're completely calm, they don't have adrenaline rush, they're human, as much as we are. The difference is they know their ability to manage it. Like a lot of great fighters, they have this like rush, you know, like this anxiety, but they don't start overthinking about, oh, what if I lose, or what? So they don't start doubting it. Imagine putting the amount of work you do and trusting your team and creating a great legacy so far already, and you're confident, you know, but you still have a rush, and you never know, like you're going against someone who wants to beat your ass and you want to beat their ass. It's about how you transfer that anxiety into adrenaline rush, into and expose it in the fight. Okay, not like a freeze, not like a freeze in the stance and in not do nothing, but opposite. You know, expose it on the octagon or on the ring. Okay, we keep scrolling up, guys. I don't want to be way too behind the chat, okay? Do you think Khamzat improved his cardio? What if DDP survives first 2 rounds? What do you think? That's a good question. I believe that Khamzat's team had to work. Like, as I said, I hope his training camp was not as like as usual, you know, wearing out, especially his friend was Darren Till, he trains with Darren Till, so we know that it's not working like that anymore. More training and crazier training doesn't equal a better outcome. So I hope his training plan was better. I've seen just the fragments of his training. He seemed good. He seemed very good, powerful, in the shape. But as I said, yeah, I hope he trained his stamina, endurance, and recovered well. He's well rested. He's ready physically and with his health, obviously. That directly translates in the mental state. And that's the thing, because if he does it, then it's not first 2 rounds, then Khamzat can probably hold longer. Because if he has a better cardio, that changes the whole scenario. It makes it way harder for DDP. It's gonna make way more entertaining for us, and it's gonna give Khamzat better chances to actually pull the win. And in other words, what if DDP survives first 2 rounds? That's the thing. I think he will, and he's just gonna keep pushing, keep applying pressure, keep throwing some unorthodox stuff, something that none of us can predict, none of us can understand. Well, one pattern I understood, like he sometimes taking punches, then he counts 1, 2, 3 like this, and then he throws a leg. Like, that's the one pattern I kind of caught. Everything else, every time it's so different, it's something new. Dricus have to try and survive the first 2 rounds. his chances increase exponentially the longer the fight goes. Completely agree with that. It just Khamzat's personality to try to intimidate his opponents. I don't think he's much worth reading into that. I mean, good point. Maybe that's true. But I see, I'm in the circle of fighters. I know fighters. I know them preparing for the fights, even though I haven't been active for a while. It doesn't matter you do boxing or mixed martial arts. Like that anxiety, that like emotions are pretty much the same before stepping on the to the fight. And yeah, everyone very often being loud can be a self-defense, and just like, you know, to make yourself look bigger and more intimidating. Maybe he just doesn't care. Maybe he's completely chill pretty much and just having like an adequate level of anticipation of the fight, and he just does it because that's his style. Who knows? But very often people do that when they are, you know, they just want to show that they are, you know, there. Also, being a stoic doesn't mean always that, oh, that is the champion. It doesn't mean always. Okay, keeps going up. Hello, you're Armenian. No, I'm Georgia. I'm from Georgia, the country. Everyone, like this stream and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much, Humberto. Appreciate it. Khamzat by anything within 5 minutes. It's the first time someone says Khamzat by anything, because that's like more goes for DDP. People speculate which kind of shit the DDP is gonna pull off. DDP is going to make Khamzat look like an amateur. Again, I don't like saying those things, but when it's a stamina factor, like whoever has a better endurance, essentially, especially in the later rounds, this is the way how you make look someone as an amateur. This is how Merab made look Piotr Jan, Cejudo, Aldo, Sean Strickland, Sean O'Malley, and Omar Nurmagomedov looking like amateurs. Don't disrespect this guy. They're not amateurs. They're professional fighters. They are good. They're great. They're way better than all of us in the fighting. But it's just Merab's crazy stamina. And Merab either he doesn't have the best, the prettiest style out there. It's not the most exciting, like watching wise, unless you're really into mixed martial arts and you have a different segregation of styles. Like I really enjoy different styles. Like one thing I don't enjoy in fighting is when there is no action at all. When both of the fighters are so hesitant that it's just embarrassing. That's one thing I do like. Otherwise, it's a groundwork. Is it a fight on the top? Is it a mixed exchange? Doesn't matter to me. I find it entertaining in all of those settings. Okay, guys. These people talk like Khamzat would feel after 2 rounds or something. He can from D5 rounds, no problem. He will win anyway. Well, again, no disrespect to him, but the reason why I think, like, where it showed that he has, like, his stamina costs him being slower and kind of being more defensive at times. Not like he still won those fights, but it was Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman fights. If you watch those fights, it showed that he can hold the pressure. He's still gonna go exchanges. He's still gonna fight, and that's good because that's what we want. Khamzat is not a top contender for no reason, of course, but at the same time, it showed that he is not invincible. And no one is. DDP is not invincible too. Actually, I want to say a couple words about DDP's weaknesses. I'm just gonna keep scrolling up, guys. DDP's weakness is, at this moment, it's his strengths. It's that unpredictability, awkward style, and yeah, his defense is this. But what I notice is sometimes he throws the punch, he throws this, and his chin is up. And yeah, he got many times hit, especially, in the Whittaker and Adesanya fights, he got caught on that, and it's a very bad position to get caught when you're like slightly lean backwards, and you're like that is a way to get knocked out. Somehow he didn't end up to get knocked out by an elite strikers. That also says about that he has a strong chin, but Khamzat is a strong, like Khamzat might not be like necessarily pushing too much on striking, but he has strong hands. So that's kind of the positions that DDP can have his vulnerabilities. The only issue, why it makes so hard to deal with him, is just because he doesn't repeat same thing all the time. He does it with different timing and different moments. So when you expect him to keep doing striking, standing in the striking position, he goes on the takedown. Or, I mean, he falls. What was that? That was with Adesanya. He fell down, grabbed his leg, and made him to take down. Like, this is hilarious, but it works. Guys, I'm gonna bet my life savings on Khamzat. Please wish me luck. Don't bet anything on anyone. You know that fight can go either way. DDP's weakness is gayness. DDP's strength is gayness. That's funny. That's a funny one. Gilbert Burns gave Chimaev a hard time. Well, we need to consider that Gilbert Burns, that had a very good striking exchange, but Gilbert Burns is also a black belt in BJJ. So, like on the ground level, he could, that's why he was escaping that pressure that Khamzat was applying, and that fight was on the feet, down the feet. But that's the thing with the DDP. Like, you cannot say DDP is not like Pereira, Adesanya, who's like strictly a kickboxer and a good one. Like, his style is odd, and I think he actually is capable of doing some weird stuff on the ground as well. At least weird enough to, odd enough to not let Khamzat get there, you know what I mean? Like on the choke or on the submission, just not being able to do that on the first round, especially if it would go like Usman's first round, where it's literally on his back all the time. And getting tired after that, essentially not being able to do that on the first round. And then DDP just continues the way he does with his drunken style. Doesn't matter if he slowed down, doesn't matter what, he just does something. And that fight definitely is going to be interesting, I can tell you that. Okay, keep scrolling up. Khamzat is in trouble, Peter says. I mean, I'm leaning towards DDP as well, as I said. This girl is so smart, learned to speak English during the COVID. Is that right? Thank you very much. And yes, I did. I learned English during the COVID. Yeah, that's true. It's 2020. That's when if you want, I can tell you the story. It's just a little bit off the topic of the stream. But if someone's gonna ask me how I learned it and what was my experience, I'm willing to give a response. Okay, thank you very much, guys. I appreciate you being here in this stream. You're a fighter, you couldn't fight a cold. No one can fight a cold. Khamzat couldn't fight a cold. I mean, I hope he's doing well and his health is doing well. I always wish everyone the best. But I'm not a mixed martial artist. I'm a boxer. And I'm looking forward to get back to competitive boxing. This is my journey here, except apart from the live streaming, talking about all that kind of stuff, I'm also going to show you my way, preparational way, sparrings, and then a competitive match in boxing. So you can, I never say that, but you can like and subscribe if you want to see that in the future. Khamzat struggled against Usman with him taking the fight. You think he's going to beat DDP coming from a full camp? LOL. Fair point. At least say that, oh, it's like going to be easy fight. I think that is the funniest thing that people say, oh, that's going to be easy fight. No, it's not going to be an easy fight, but it's going to be an amazing fight. Don't forget to watch the show with Money Podcast with Gilbert Burns and Money Mosiano. I gotta look into it. DDP would strike in the first round while Khamzat will shoot. Nevertheless, it is going to decision. But that's the thing, DDP is gonna do whatever. I cannot, and no one can say that, and that's DDP's biggest strength. We cannot say what he's gonna do. He might, obviously, you always start striking, you kind of, I mean, except Khamzat. Khamzat just goes straight away for your legs. But anyways, pretty much everyone starts a little bit from striking just to measure the distance, all that kind of stuff. But DDP is gonna do whatever needs to be done in his situation. That's what I think. That's his biggest strength. Canelo gonna win that one, homie. We're gonna talk about Canelo Crawford when that fight's gonna be closer, okay? DDP and Khamzat will be split decision. Johnny, that is a very high likelihood. Like that could be a high likelihood scenario that can develop. Split decision, maybe unanimous decision, or in the end, DDP just wears him out and just finishes the fight in the fourth and fifth round. That is another scenario that I can see. And obviously Khamzat does a big damage in the first two rounds where DDP is not himself anymore, he cannot navigate, then Khamzat takes that one. But in the first three scenarios, I see DDP winning. No, definitely not going to be an easy fight, but I just cannot see DDP losing to a fighter that has so much focus on wrestling and expends his energy in trying to finish the first round. It is a fair point when it comes to fighter like DDP, because sometimes and very often wrestling, jiu-jitsu always been a dominant sport in the mixed martial arts. Like when the Ultimate Fighter started, all that happened. Like Gracie showed that BJJ takes out everyone, and then like wrestling is dominant over striking, all that kind of stuff, right? Oh, now obviously we're in the era where it's like strikers came up. A lot of strikers, showed that they're not someone you should mess with. But then we also have a fighters there realize, okay, I gotta have all of it. You kind of can lean towards one direction, but you're gonna have to be able to support yourself in case if you're on the ground or in different situations. So we're in the era that mixed martial arts evolved so much. And we're also now at the era when we have a DDP, like a creature of Frankenstein, which is literally a drunk farmer style, but with actual fighting IQ. It's something very, very interesting, and that's why, like, that's a good point. He knows that the Khamzat is gonna try wrestle. He knows that he's ready for that. They're ready for that, right? So I don't think that's something that's gonna intimidate him that much. I think Khamzat, the hardest thing he could do against DDP would be actually do the mixed style himself as well, but I'm not sure how much Khamzat will do that. Aggressive wrestling might have a chance to do something, give significant damage, but then again, with DDP, he's way too strong. I don't see that happening. People are sleeping on Khamzat striking. He can do DDP for sure. Well, someone said, and it's true, DDP has more knockouts than Khamzat, and that's what I remember as well. If we're wrong, double check and make sure that we're saying the right thing. But at the same time, there is a moment what I noticed that can happen. So DDP very often goes like this, and his chin, his head is like this. If Khamzat does his famous like cross uppercut, that can be a very bad thing for DDP. So let's say it's not something that's not gonna happen, okay? The another thing is DDP might just confuse, like, how to say that? If you put DDP in the boxing match, a boxer is gonna outbox them, like easy, okay? Because he's not a good boxer at all. And you know, this uppercuts would well. But when you have mixed martial arts and when he moves in such an odd way that sometimes he goes for the leg, he easily gets quite a lot of damage, and he, you know, does not fall apart. It makes you more hesitant. Like Khamzat in the first round, after first round with Usman, he was hesitant. Second round, third round, those extra two takedowns helped him to secure his win. But apart from that, he was striking wise. He threw some like a head kick. He threw some punches. They beat some exchange, especially in the end. But he was hesitant. And DDP is one of the fighters that just make you feel hesitant. Like I hate, even in the boxing, when you have someone switching like stances like this, doing some weird stuff. You're like, come on, dude. Like, it's just hard to adapt unless you are someone like that yourself. DDP is gonna kiss his coach after the win. I mean, yeah, that was odd, but he was saying that I actually personally know families. I have people that I know in Georgia. They do that. Even though in Georgia it's not accepted, that's like not what people do. They don't kiss their children in the mouth. They don't like do that. But in some cultures, I know, and I've been traveling quite a lot, so I have a lot of international friends. They do that. Rather in some cultures or in some families, they just do that. And there is nothing wrong with kissing your family member or someone close to you in the mouth. So it's a little bit, it's odd. It's odd to me too, but I don't really care much about that. Like, I don't really care if he's gay for real. Like, to me, it doesn't really matter. I'm trying, like, I'm excited about fighting and their fights, talking about the styles, the potential scenarios. Not really here to talk about their personal lives and stuff. Okay, I keep scrolling up. DDP throws wild and is slow, and Khamzat is way more accurate with his punches. When it comes to striking, wrestling, okay, he never faced someone as strong as Khamzat when it comes to wrestling, but striking, Adesanya is way better striker than Khamzat. Whittaker is better striker than Khamzat. And DDP, yeah, DDP got more punches landed on his face, but then he finished the fight in both breaking cases. So that is not, here the math is not adding up. Like, they cannot necessarily indicate how the fight goes. DDP said himself, his awkward style is on purpose, game plan. Yeah, that's fair enough. I remember him saying that. Exactly, it's awkward, but you see the openings. I agree with that. I already said, like, which movement could get him, like uppercut, the cross and uppercut could get him in those moments. But it depends if he's so adaptive. And like this, people think that he just don't know how to protect himself, but he actually does a very consistent and smart thing when he keeps his hands up. And the way how he does this, he sleeps, he actually prevents a lot of significant damage. When he throws the punches, this is where he is the most open, and he ducks his chin down, and this is where he can get caught. But even that, he does so unpredicted, like ba ba ba, and it kind of goes. He's not just going hooks; he goes straight, straight, straight. And even though he's open there, it's still hard to punch through it. Unless you're doing a boxing match, a boxer would do like a proper defense footwork, bam bam bam, you know, and just sidestep kind of thing. It would be very easy to do. But again, it's not boxing; it's mixed martial arts, it's MMA. So even though we, as the viewers, as people who watch those fights, we see those gaps, we're like, oh yeah, I could do that. But in reality, in a fight, it's very tricky to do certain things, even if you know you have that opportunity. Why do you hear so many cars? Well, I can show you. Look at this. Yeah, it's very common in Vietnam when you just have it open like that, and yeah, that's quite loud. Technical striking exposes those same overhand uppercut combinations, which I'm sure DDP's coach would have taken into consideration. I think so too. I'm judging by his previous fights. We cannot anticipate everything 100% on this one. We can base some of the some facts from the previous fight. He was losing bad against Easy. Yes, he was. He indeed was. Which boxing fighter did you like to go out to date? I'm not interested to date anyone. I have an amazing husband, and I appreciate the question, but no, thank you. But like I would definitely love to meet Alexander Usyk. I would love to meet Manny Pacquiao. Like, you know, I would love to meet Mike Tyson, because I think he, like, over years he matured and he's quite wise and a good gentleman. So yeah, I'm talking about like the boxers who are like very, very good personalities, and they're like legends, and like you would just enjoy having a coffee together with them and just like talk a little bit and listen to their life experience just a little bit. DDP's power is way more than Adesanya, Whittaker, Burns, and Usman. Khamzat got dropped by both Burns and Usman. That is another good point that we didn't mention, but somehow, even though DDP, like, it's weird. DDP sometimes, especially with his low kicks, sometimes he's explosive. Like, you're like, what? This guy can't do that? But then sometimes he goes like, you know, just like a certain, how to say that? Like a heavy pace, you know, moderate pace, when he's not going like doo doo, like he goes like da da da. But maybe that's just a pawn of the game. Somehow it works, and he doesn't get tired that much when he does that. Because if you do doo 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 like all the time like this, you get tired. It's way more tiring. And then at times he has he throws that punch faster. So even, and they are very powerful. Whatever lands, even the ones that are just heavy mass punches, if they land, you see what it does to his opponents. It's just like they just get slipped off their legs, and then once he chases you and then just gets you in the corner, like that's it. Never listen to a woman who is giving a fight advice. Well, you can keep scrolling up and watch something else then. What about DDP's coach grabbing his crotch in between the rounds? Like, Strickland said it. As I said, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what kind of relationship they have, and I don't care. When you throw your combos, finish with a jab. That's a good point. And not necessarily jab. I love finishing with hook. Like This is the most, like, because you're generating it through the angle, you do bam, bam, and powerful left hook. That can knock people out. Khamzat got dropped by Usman. I got to watch the fight. I don't remember. He wasn't dropped, but he definitely got the punch where he how you call that? He got wobbly or something like that. That's how I remember. And I rewatched it recently. It wasn't like he dropped and at least yeah, I don't remember that either that way. That's all I want to say to you. Khamzat has one round to win, and I believe if he tries to pace himself, it will be too unnatural for him. Unless they spent all the training camp doing that. We've seen fights changing styles and evolving and doing some different stuff. So, and that's necessary at some point at that level of performance and at that point of in the career. So maybe, you never know, and I don't know exactly either. She knows the algorithm well. I'm starting to understand it a little bit. Yeah, I keep scrolling up. I'm asking how is he going to beat Khamzat, not his previous opponents. Well, the disadvantage on Khamzat's side is that he's probably going to be more predictable than DDP. And if he's going to do, if they didn't change the game plan, and if he's going to do on the same, rely on the same pressure, try to aggressively get on the first round on DDP, try to take him down, I'm pretty much sure DDP and his team anticipate and trained for that exactly, and that's going to be something that he might not even try to avoid, but they will try to use that to wear him out. And as I said, as long as the DDP wears out Khamzat, now he's going to be able to do what he has to do. But we're using examples from the previous fights to kind of analyze weaknesses and strengths for both fighters. I'm all the way up in the top now. Okay, yeah, Khamzat 54%, DDP 46. Well, it's close enough. But it's close enough. It's like almost 50-50 fight for most of people, and that's fair, okay? It doesn't matter if you're leaning towards Khamzat or DDP. Just remember, you gotta give these people respect. That's one of the most anticipated fight in the recent years, and it is for a reason. Okay, both are tough, both have their advantages, both have their weaknesses, and we'll see how it essentially gonna translate into the fight. Okay. I have a husband, if that works as an answer. Who would you not want to leg kick you? Like literally no one. Like my leg kicks, the last time I had pretty much resistant legs to leg kicks was when I did karate, because it was Goju contact karate, and it's just getting like hit in your quads all the time, and it was pretty much okay at that point. And since then, I switched to boxing. Haven't done it in many years. Like even a brief touch to my thighs. Like I have very soft thighs when it comes to like kicking. So no, thank you. Don't want it. That's like one of the reasons people ask me, oh, why wouldn't you do a Muay Thai? Why wouldn't you do a kickboxing? That's why. I mean, and it's not fun. You gotta go through training and like do that. Like part of the training is to be able to get that those kicks on your thighs, and you're like, I mean, that's painful as shit. Khamzat will take him down in the very first round, and we will say Allahu. We already talked about that. Probably his team knows that that's what Khamzat is going to do, and that's quite anticipated on DDP's corner, and I think they already have a game plan around that too. I think they're going to try to wear out Khamzat as much as possible. I'm not saying that it works 100% perfectly. I'm just saying this is most likely would be a plan on their side. And once that happens, if that happens successfully, I see DDP winning. But I agree, if Khamzat can pull the win, if he applies a significant damage to DDP first 2 rounds, even if he doesn't submit him or knock him out in the first 2 rounds, but just leaves insignificant damage that just basically he cannot move properly anymore. That happens to the fighters sometimes. In that case, Khamzat can pull the win. This is like a protein mixed with a spinach and some fruits. So it's like a protein smoothie. DDP can't just win by plot armor. No, DDP can win by literally anything. Someone said DDP by anything. So DDP by, my favorite ones, dropped piano, a drawn circle where Khamzat falls in, by the banana peel, DDP by teleportation, DDP by airquake, DDP by this and that, DDP by like, and it's quite funny, but it describes his style quite well. It's called in exposing weaknesses, which has been proven an issue with Khamzat having issues with cardio, and is extremely apparent. Okay, if we're talking about weaknesses, Khamzat, definitely his cardio and stamina, and it's like in the range of the, after first 2 rounds he gets burned out, especially if he tries to go active wrestling. DDP, as much as his style is unpredictable, he has some gaps and openings, but so far I also haven't seen him, like he was getting so much damage, and then he managed to submit with Taker and knock out Adesanya. Like I was like this when I watched it, like I was like, what? So that's why this guy is a little bit weird, but he also potentially he has some weaknesses, like especially when he goes like throwing punches like this and drops his leg. Like if you have a good striking background, you can do some you would do like a long uppercut, cross, like long hook, and do like a defensive footwork that could work. At least that would land a lot of punches on him, and maybe that could be something that you could, but it's hard to guess his timing because he doesn't do that every time consistently. He does different stuff, then he pulls it off at some point, and that's why it's hard to predict and react to it. So I don't know, like DDP's, it's hard to identify DDP's weaknesses because his style itself is just weird. In a good way. I mean, props to the guy. Khamzat win on papers, but DDP don't know how to read. Wasn't that DDP who said it? I don't know how to read. Yeah, like Gagey does, for example, yeah. DDP shots a lot. You stop him and knockout on the fake. I'm not sure if I understood that one, but I think you were saying that DDP might knock him out, which there is a chance. His knockout ratio is quite high. Major strengths for DDP is to have the ability to grind out a fight better than anyone, which is the polar opposite to Khamzat. Not to say he cannot, but yet to be tested properly. That is a very good point, guys. I think that is very fairly said. DDP is already proven doing this, and this is might be even at some point even being the only reason why he won so far. I'm not even joking. Because like when it comes to the this pure striking, he was losing to Adesanya, he was losing to Whittaker. I'm talking about like a recent fights, like latest fights, and still he grinded through. So it's a very good point. With Khamzat, with Burns, with Gilbert Burns, we saw that, and with Usman, yes, he's not necessarily like that breakable, but in those fights he also like. He's not invincible. That's what also got proved. And it's okay, no one is invincible. It's about how you evolve, how you get better as a fighter, and I believe that things like stamina, endurance can get better with the right training, with the right approach. So, yeah, I think that was a very good point. Agreed. We call it Dom Krag or Boera Krag here in South Africa in Africans. That's cool. I like how it sounds. I expected trash talk from DDP. The Chicago crowd is trash, I guess. I mean, yeah, well, I liked how he dealt with him. I would, if everyone would boo me, I think this is how I would deal with it. I would just smile and laugh back and joke a little bit back and forth and just kind of and say my point that I'm a champ. I'm here to keep being a champ. So swallow it. Anyways, let's see what's the results. Okay. Still, 54% is for Khamzat and 46% for DDP. It is close enough. I think it's quite satisfying result because I thought way more people would lean towards Khamzat, which is, I mean, it's not a problem, but a lot of people, I think, underrate DDP because of his awkward style and doesn't look good maybe to them. But in reality, it works. There are reasons why it works because everything he does pretty much has its own reason to a certain extent. And yeah, you gotta, we're anticipating a great fight coming up. Basically, is it a few hours? Not exactly a few hours, but it's like almost 12 hours left. Goodbye. Have a good day. Khamzat will sprint in the early rounds. Yeah, that's. There was this meme about the Duplessis plan and Khamzat plan. Duplessis plan was like animation from Tom and Jerry or like Looney Tunes, something like that. And Khamzat's plan was basically just jumping into the camera. DDP is always the underdog in fights. Well, that's. Mirap was like that too, pretty much all the time. Maybe still is. Against the Sandhagen, now I don't see him being an underdog anymore because I think after rematch with Umar and then rematch with Sean O'Malley, he proved that he's not an underdog. And I hope with DDP, if he wins, you know, people give him a little bit more credit to him. Thanks, Redhead Diaries. It was an awesome conversation. Thank you, Brandon. It was nice to talk to you, and very good points you made today in the chat. Looking forward to Crawford Canelo. Well, they're definitely going to make a live stream separately for that too, so we're going to be able to talk more about this too. Crawford will take that one, I think. I see Crawford outboxing Canelo. His style is the one that, in a good way, in a very how to say that, in a very efficiently contradicts Canelo's style. And it's nothing bad against Canelo. Canelo is one of my favorite boxers, a very experienced boxer, great record, very powerful, very strong, fast. But comparing to Crawford, he's one-dimensional, like movement-wise and footwork-wise. Crawford works from all the directions, throws the punches through all the dimensions, switches the stances. He switches the stance once he's doing like a defense footwork, and he's slipping and then he switches the stance and then goes offense on the this is a hard type. Those are the most annoying type of boxers to deal with. So I think it's a high chance that Crawford just simply outboxes Canelo. Might not end out with knockout, might last entire 2 rounds, just gonna end up in the Terence outboxing. But okay guys, well, I'm gonna finish post so you can see results yourself. Yeah, basically I got Crawford as well. Los Angeles local news says, hi, I remember you, hope you're doing well. It's been saying it seems fight announced. I remember you mentioned that before as well. But yeah, that's the results. KHAMZAT 53%, DDP 46%. That's almost 50-50, almost. Leaning towards more KHAMZAT. I said my take is DDP, most likely, not 100%, most likely, depending on scenarios we already talked here. KHAMZAT also has the chances, especially in the first rounds. Maybe things change. Maybe he had a special training camp where they changed the game plan, he chase out, he could have his pace and the stamina on point, but I don't really see that happening. So most likely he's going to do the same thing. He's going to try to go aggressive in the beginning, take DDP on the ground, submit him, knock him out, choke him out, whatever works. But the truth is, I don't see that working with DDP, because that guy is tough, he's resilient, he's shown that he can hold the pressure, he can get hit with significant strikes in his face and still not get knocked down, and still could be able to knock you out back. So he's a tough cookie, and I don't think that strategy would work well with DDP. I actually think that Adesanya, for example, Adesanya's strategy was very good. He was winning that fight, and if he did not relax, or I don't know, or get tired, somehow DDP just caught him in that pressure. It's not like Adesanya was doing well. Adesanya was also tired, but essentially on the paper he was winning. If he continued that way till the end, he could win potentially. So long-term strategy, good stamina, smart work, trying to, not fall onto DDP's trap would be the best strategy. And I don't see KHAMZAT having this strategy. I think they're gonna go in the same way, and they're just not gonna work with DDP, in my opinion. Illusion of Paul, DDP no chance. Okay, we'll see soon. Saying DDP has no chance is crazy though. I'm not even fan, but DDP has a chance for sure. That's what I'm saying. What if DDP takes KHAMZAT down and overpowers KHAMZAT, and DDP pulls down his pants and what was that? Then they're gonna have to make that stream 18 plus. I'm always right. Someone who says I'm always right are usually wrong. Anyways, age, no disrespect to you. You might be right. I even said, if KHAMZAT wins the way I said, that he just manages to give a very significant damage on DDP, then he wins, most likely. I think a lot of people agree on that too. But if we look at other scenarios, or rather split decision, a unanimous decision, or a later round knockout or submission, I see those scenarios going towards DDP. So it's 4 scenarios against 1 scenario towards DDP, in my opinion. And it's my opinion. I'm not I'm not getting paid to do that, okay? I'm not a specialist. I'm not the one who must tell you what to do or how to do it and who to favor. Just sharing my opinion with you, and we'll see. Will you go live during the fight tomorrow? I'll try my best. If not, I'll go post-fight. I'll do after fight, and we're gonna have a chance to discuss the fight, maybe even rewatch highlights. I might have another phone and being able to rewatch highlights and just like the key points of the fight. Regardless if DDP wins or Khamzat wins, as I said, I'm ready. If Khamzat wins, well, I already said which scenario. At least if he wins in the scenario I said, I would say, you know what, I was saying that, and that happened, and the props to him. If it says in completely other manner, I would say, okay, I was wrong. I was completely wrong, and you were right, and we'll try to watch the fight, analyze it, and talk about it. But so far, we don't know who's winning, who's not, and we all are excited. And well, I definitely see you in the next live stream tomorrow. Tomorrow for me on the Vietnam, according to Vietnam time. Okay, Diana, if you are so sure that DDP wins bet, Khamzat wins, you do, I don't know, like 50 push-ups. Easy, haha. Well, 50 push-ups, I'll try. I'll try to take that bet, okay? I'm not guaranteed that I'm gonna make it very clean, or I wouldn't need to do pauses, but I'll do my best. Let's make a deal. Deal, 50 push-ups. Maybe a crap fight with DDP hand running like Jones uses as a defense. Respect to Jones though, he's the GOAT. Okay, I like Jon Jones, but Jon Jones literally ducked Tom Aspinall, Gano, and like almost lost and maybe arguably lost the race and never rematched him and went to the heavyweight. Let's be honest, despite the guy being GOAT, great. But you're saying DDP is like a fraud. You maybe didn't mean that, but like he's like easy to deal with. DDP is literally not ducking anyone. He's ready. He was the one who wanted that fight, actually. And he was the one who actually gave Khamzat that well-deserved title shot. So, I don't know. Double standards? Where are you from, Red? I'm from Georgia, the country. Basically from the same country as Mirab, Dvalishvili, and originally Leah Topuria, and some other Georgians. The thing with Jon Jones is the multiple, like 2 or 3 failed doping tests as well. So there are some shady areas when it comes to Jon Jones. But we gotta admit that Jon Jones has one of the all-time best fighting IQs of all time in mixed martial arts. I think so. My dad is from Georgia. That's cool, Danny. That's cool. Hi, Diana, Red Hat Diaries. Hi, Todd. Do you incorporate jiu-jitsu into your training? Well, not at this point. I'm not planning to do mixed martial arts at this point. But I could do more like you know, I have some friends who are BJJ coaches, and they're like, you know, holding a certain belt. Maybe do some session with them and just make a YouTube video or a live stream together with them. That would be cool. That they teaching me how to do, how to basically do BJJ. That's cool. I bet 100. Khamzat takes it. Well, I'm not betting money, okay, guys. I'm not that rich. Actually, I'm poor too. Way too poor to bet any money on it. But I'm ready to do 50 push-ups if I'm wrong, okay? But anyways, guys, I gotta go now, and Thanks for being here. I think it was a good conversation. A lot of good points being said, and no disrespect to anyone. We talked both about both Khamzat and DDP, strengths, advantages, potential winning scenarios, like all of that kind of stuff about their past fight experiences, and I think it was good. I bet the nice Vietnam coffee he wins. Okay, that's a good one. John Jones GOAT forever. PEDs don't give you to skill and fighting. It doesn't give you skill and fighting IQ, but it gives you endurance, and it gives you extra endurance, extra power, extra strength. So it is unfair. Let's not be that like. Because I actually said that one of the key aspects is to win the fights is out enduring your opponent. And if you're in PEDs and you're cheating to get that extra stamina, how does it look? That's not good. Have a great day, girl. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. What's your favorite martial art? Is boxing a martial art? I think boxing is a sport, but boxing is my favorite. And I like mixed martial arts. I enjoy watching both boxing and mixed martial arts. But okay, guys, thank you very much. And I see you next live stream. I will try to live stream during the fight, but if not, that doesn't happen, I'll do a little bit later than that, and we'll talk about it. Have a good day, and I see you.